Arun had always carried a quiet dream in his heart. Ever since he was a teenager, he wanted to do something meaningful, something that would make his parents proud and give his life a sense of purpose. He worked hard, studied late at night, and even pictured himself standing one day in front of a crowd, sharing his success. But beneath that dream, hidden in the shadows, lived something darker, an invisible weight that whispered to him every single day. It was doubt. Doubt never shouted, it never screamed. Instead, it spoke in soft, clever words that sounded almost like truth. What if you fail? What if people laugh at you? What if you're not good enough? At first, Arun tried to ignore it, but the more he listened, the louder it became. Whenever he thought of taking a step forward, doubt was already there, pulling him 2 steps back. In class, when the teacher asked a question, Arun often knew the answer. His heart raced, his lips parted to speak, but then came that voice. What if you're wrong? Everyone will laugh. And so he stayed silent. In interviews, he had the right skills, the right preparation, but his confidence cracked. He stumbled over words, not because he didn't know, but because doubt whispered, "You don't belong here." Every dream he held started to feel like a fragile glass sculpture, too delicate to risk breaking. Instead of chasing it, Arun placed it carefully on a shelf in his mind, where it gathered dust, safe but unreachable. The people around him saw his potential. Friends told him, "You're talented. You can do this." His parents reminded him, "We believe in you." But doubt was louder than all of them. It twisted every compliment into a question. If you're really so capable, why haven't you achieved anything yet? Arun began to wonder if he was just pretending, if his life would always stay small. Then came the day that could change everything. His college announced a competition, one that would bring recognition, scholarships, and opportunities. For Arun, it was exactly the kind of chance he had been waiting for. His friends urged him to join. His professors encouraged him, saying, "This is your time." Arun's heart wanted to say yes, but his mind was already crumbling under the weight of those familiar whispers. The night before the registration deadline, he sat alone at his desk, staring at the empty form. His hands trembled as doubt repeated its old tricks. "You're not ready. Others are better than you. What if you embarrass yourself? It's safer not to try." He closed his eyes, and in that moment, it felt as though he was fighting an invisible battle, one side pulled by hope, the other chained by fear. The clock ticked past midnight. The form still sat there, blank, unfilled. Arun felt his chest tighten, as though life was slipping past him while he stood frozen in place. That night, as he lay in bed, something inside him broke, not in anger, but in exhaustion. He was tired of the endless tug-of-war inside his head. He was tired of dreaming but never daring. He was tired of watching life move forward while he remained behind. And yet, even in his frustration, doubt lingered, whispering, "This is who you are. You will never change." The next morning, Arun woke up with heavy eyes. He dragged himself through the day, haunted by the thought that he had let another chance slip away. But as he walked across campus, he noticed a poster for the same competition. The words at the bottom read, "It's not about winning. It's about showing up." For some reason, those words pierced through the fog of his doubt. Showing up. Wasn't that the thing he had never done? He had always waited until he felt ready, until the fear disappeared, but maybe that day never came. A quiet voice rose inside him, softer than doubt but stronger somehow. It said, "What if trying is more important than succeeding?" That thought stayed with him. It followed him to the library, to his room, even to his dreams. And for the first time in a long while, Arun felt a spark, a small one, but enough to make him pick up that empty registration form. His hand still trembled, but this time he filled in his name. The days leading up to the competition were not easy. Doubt did not vanish. It returned with every rehearsal, every attempt. You're going to embarrass yourself. Others are better. You'll fail again. But something had shifted. Arun no longer waited for the fear to leave. He carried it with him, like a heavy bag on his shoulders, but he kept moving anyway. He realized that courage was not the absence of doubt, it was the decision to act despite it. On the day of the competition, Arun stood backstage, his heart pounding. He could hear the crowd, he could see the bright lights spilling across the stage. His palms were sweaty, his knees weak. Doubt whispered one last time, "Walk away. It's not too late." But then he remembered every moment he had stayed silent, every dream he had abandoned, every night he had gone to bed wishing he had tried. He took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. The first words out of his mouth shook. His voice cracked slightly. For a second, the old fear surged back. But then he looked out into the audience and saw not enemies, not judges, but people who, like him, had their own doubts, their own fears. And suddenly, something changed. His words grew steadier. His hands stopped trembling. With every sentence, confidence replaced hesitation. With every moment, his doubt grew quieter, until it was just a faint echo in the back of his mind. When he finished, the hall filled with applause. Arun stood there, breathless, realizing that he had done it, not perfectly, not flawlessly, but bravely. He had faced his doubt and acted anyway. That night, as he walked home under the streetlights, he felt lighter than he ever had before. It wasn't about winning, he didn't even care about the result. What mattered was that he had broken the chain. For the first time in his life, he had chosen action over fear. And here lies the lesson his story carries for everyone. Doubt will never fully disappear. It will always whisper in the background, always question your worth. But doubt is a liar. It wants to keep you still, to make you safe but empty. The truth is this: courage is not waiting for the fear to fade, it is stepping forward while fear walks beside you. So, when you feel paralyzed, when your heart races and your mind screams you can't, remember Arun. Remember that one choice can change everything. Remember that the only way to silence doubt is to act. Because the moment you take that step, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fear. And if doubt controls you today, let this story be your reminder: don't wait for the perfect moment, don't wait until you feel ready. Just show up. Take the step. The rest will follow.